Welcome on, welcome all, and welcome to the AD2L Season 42 Warrior Grand Championship. My name is Finnick, joined by Oblivion KC, previously of Dark Horse Storm, also of this particular league. And we are ready to go. Grand finals between Text Go Green and Rats and Bunnies. Rats and Bunnies winning the upper bracket final versus Text Go Green a couple weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago, because there was a break for Thanksgiving. So it's going to be a rematch. They played each other in the regular season as well. I'm looking forward to it. What are your thoughts?
Well, hello everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on a nice Thursday evening. But my thoughts are not much. We played R&B this season, and they kind of clapped us pretty hard. And that's the scary thing. But we never played Text Go Green, so I don't have much experience with them. But based off of what I've seen beforehand, I did a little bit of research. They've obviously had a really good season, and we were scared to play them during the season. So I'm real curious to see, in particular, what their offlane does. He looks to be having a good time. And then I know R&B, Blackout, really strong mid. So I think those are two strong players to look for. And I think their offlane on Text Go Green is I Am Steve. So.
You know what? Yeah, I'm just really appreciative that Rats and Bunnies actually made a proper banner graphic, because most teams just don't. It's not hard.
Are you saying Text Go Green?
It's not hard. Valve gives you templates. You can just look up Dota 2 banner templates. They have masks for it, for GIMP or Photoshop or what have you. And then you have a template. You can slap your thing on top of it, and it just works.
I feel like part of the charm of it, though, is how, like, a little bit low res, a little bit. It's got charm to it. You know?
No. Okay. Here's the thing. I know for a fact you didn't do this for your team. All right. So I'm.
Well, I wasn't the one who did it.
This is everybody. Everybody who has a team in Dota, like, it's super easy. It takes like 5 minutes in GIMP to make your banner actually look decent.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Either way, bans went through as Nyx Assassin, Dragon Knight, Clockwork, and Doom from Text Go Green, and Pangolier, Night Stalker, and Alchemist from Rats and Bunnies. First pick went over to Rats and Bunnies. They first picked the Lich. Puck first pick for Text Go Green.
First pick Hutch is kind of crazy. That's a bold move.
Very crazy getting a first pick Puck out there. Has not been seeing play anywhere other than mid for a lot of places, but I normally cast Divine Plus. We are down into my actual MMR range of Legend and Ancient, so this time around you might see something a little bit weird, a little bit more comfortable. We'll see what the teams decide to play as we go forward, or it could just be they want a first pick Puck mid, which is pretty scary, and definitely a lot of different things you can do to counter this.
If he feels real confident on the hero, I mean, it's something we did a couple times in our season with mixed results. But sometimes first pick in the mid, if they're feeling confident on it, sometimes it's better to just get it out there, especially if you expect it to get banned.
Sometimes it is. They go ahead and ban Dawnbreaker and Primal Beast from Rats and Bunnies. Text Go Green dipping into their reserve time for this next ban. I mean, they've kind of already protected the Puck with this Doom ban, right? But there are other ones that can potentially be bad. They go ahead and ban off the Invoker. Rats and Bunnies also a 23rd pick. Means that they will not have a counter pick for one of the core positions. And I'm interested to see which core position Text Go Green picks for 24th pick. Because first picking your mid gives you a lot of options in that regard.
Yeah, I would guess based off of how much they've banned on the offlane so far, you probably pick that your fourth pick and then pick your carry last. But I don't know. It depends on how they're feeling with their offlane's hero pool. But what I've seen is he's been spamming Night Stalker a lot, so that doesn't surprise me that they ban that right off the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, Puck is very flexible. You're going to pick something that's going to combine with it pretty well. Vengeful Spirit is one of those. Supports, obviously, you get a Dream Coil and then swap, and then they're stunned immediately out, and that does hurt a lot, not being able to play around that Dream Coil on one of your heroes. Rats and Bunnies, though, they can actually pick mid here if they want to, and actually go like mid 3 or something like that, and save the other picks. Could just go mid 2, but or mid and the other support, but
I think that's what most teams have been doing this season. I haven't followed it since we got knocked out, but from my experiences, a lot of people pick mid pretty early. The mid hero pool is a very high value right now.
Yeah. I mean, again, like my draft experience, my casting experience is mostly Divine Plus, where you're typically going to see mid, the last core, the second to last core picked in any given draft. This time around, they go ahead and pick the 3.
Pick, yeah.
Which
can't go wrong with an Underlord pick.
You definitely can't go wrong with an Underlord pick, and they pair it with the Dark Willow, so has a lot of damage potential coming from that off lane. IO being picked up for Texaco Grin's instant with the Leshrac too. So I'm actually quite interested between the Puck and the Leshrac. One of them's going to go mid. Leshrac can technically be played in all 3 core positions. I have not seen him played one in a long time. This could be an IO Leshrac off lane, in which case they'd be last picking their 1.
Would you pair that with an IO?
I mean, yes. Being a one-time Leshrac 3 spammer, IO is one of those supports that you just love to have. Back when you would get his shard and then Overpower would just give you all the things, it was really good on Leshrac, but now Overcharge gives you the extra magic damage anyway, even without the Aghanim shard, so definitely a very good pick, and obviously getting a mana battery for the Leshrac is very, very solid. Anti-Mage, the thing is, if
their entire team is based off of mana right now, they have no physical damage. They have pure damage, assuming that the Leshrac goes it. But
yeah, I mean, well, Leshrac's gonna go the Diabolic Edict pass it anyway. He's not gonna be their tower push, which means Texaco Green has to pick a tower pushing 1. The AM pick here does dissuade things like a Medusa that might go well with this comp, scaling into the late game, being able to team fight and stuff like that. That said, the Anti-Mage into Leshrac lane matchup isn't as Anti-Mage favored as one might think if you have ever played that matchup.
Yeah,
Leshrac
but
has the ability to space for the AM pretty effectively.
Don't forget they got a Lich with it. That's a really strong lane, I think, personally. Especially if you put it with an IO, I don't think that's going to be able to survive.
Yeah, I mean, again, right? This could be Leshrac mid, and then something like Avenge 3 and a Puck 4. That's the only other way this draft works, other than Leshrac 3 and Puck mid. I would have to imagine, but we'll see what they do. Banning out Quap, we see the Morphling banned by Rats and Bunnies, so they think that Texaco Green are going to pick their 1 last. We think Texaco Green is going to pick their 1 last. But the ban's coming out for the mid lane here.
I feel like Texaco Green has kind of put themselves into a little bit of a hole here. They've got one job to fill with their last pick, and that gives Rats and Bunnies the opportunity to really ban what exactly they want to do here. So I'm curious to see how they fill it.
Banning out Lina makes a lot of sense. Magic damage Lina build absolutely rips through everybody on Texaco Green right now, as they are a very squishy comp. That means I do have to pick some sort of tanky 1, right? Because Leshrac is tanky once he gets Bloodstone, especially with the IO, but it's not the same kind of tankiness that you necessarily need versus this comp, right? Like, I would expect to see something like maybe a Lifestealer or a Wraith King ban here from Rats and Bunnies. Just instead they go for AA.
Wow, an AA ban?
Oh, yeah, that's gonna heal. There's the Huskar. Okay. So there is so Leshrac really 1 was a thing a long time ago. You could pick that and still pick Necro here for 3. Potentially. The AA ban makes sense though, because the Huskar pick. Honestly, I think Texaco Green kind of drafted themselves into a hole here.
I think they did. I hate to say it, but I do think that they did. I think this last pick has to pull a lot of weight here. And I don't really know of a hero that's going to do everything that they need.
You need something that's going to burst through Huskar or provide... I mean, like a Drow Ranger could be okay here, right? Getting Drow Aghanim Scepter versus Huskar is very nice. Also helps you cut through the Underlord a bit.
I think they are going to run into damage issues, though.
I mean, that's the thing,
and
right?
They need to pick somebody active, too, because AM, you got to keep the pressure on. So they got to pick somebody that's going to group up with a team and fight as 5, because otherwise you play split against this team and you're just gonna get ran over as the game progresses.
And
So I think they have to play
someone
tempo here.
They need someone to push towers too. I mean, this is really tough. This is really, really tough. I mean, in theory, like, Leshrac actually is better into Huskar than you would think, just because Lightning Storm actually does surprise amount of damage, and with the Diabolic Edict Facet, you might be able to push through his regen early on. They go for the Legion Commander. I'm not exactly sure if that's the correct pick, if this is Legion 1.
It fixes one of the issues. They've got two issues with the AM and the Huskar, but it does fix one of them. Obviously, I think you still have an issue with Dark Willow.
So the facet Leshrac is taking is actually not the facet that most people take on the hero right now. Both 2 and 3 take the, I can't remember the name of it, the Diabolic Edict facet, which basically makes your Diabolic Edict attack faster, so you do more DPS with it. And at the same time, you can't hit towers with Edict anymore. This time around, they want to be able to hit towers. Chronoptic Nourishment isn't the worst facet in the world, and it might go well with this IO, but at the same time, I don't know. Rats and Bunnies to me just seems to have the more complete draft here.
RCW is their carry.
Okay, so it is Leshrac 1. Then why didn't you pick Necro?
I don't know if Necro is the answer here either.
I mean,
I really do think they
but
drafted themselves
what's
in a bit of a
your
hole
answer?
here.
Like, is Legion actually your answer to Huskar here?
I don't think there's a good answer. That's the problem. I think your answer is, I hope you have enough damage and take off one of the problems that you had, and that Legion does take off one of the problems. And then I haven't played against the Leshrac one in a very long time, so maybe they have confidence that this is going to do enough damage to stand up to this Huskar, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, chat, let me know the Lesh is a safe lane, or IO Lesh safe lane duo. Unfortunately, I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep on these teams, so I didn't know Leshrac 1 was something that they played. So that's a bit unfortunate. Also, as a reminder, the stream is on a 5-minute delay, so anything you say in chat, if I acknowledge it, will be 5 minutes late, at least. I don't know, I'm not I love Leshrac. He's one of my favorite heroes in the game. He's like my 3rd most played hero. I'm not a huge fan of the Chronoptic Nourishment facet, and I'm not a huge fan of playing Leshrac 1 right now. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, they need a right-click damage from the Legion. Maybe it's a better lane into the... we will actually take a quick break. We will be right back after I fix my camera. Welcome back, everybody. Just had a slight technical hiccup there, but we are back. We are ready to go.
I think you were getting on the topic of lanes, and that's something we probably should discuss here. I personally think with what is it going to be, the Lich anti-mage, that's going to be a hard lane to run into. But I do think that the Venge Legion is a strong lane. It just takes a few levels to get up to that point. I think that's probably about a 50-50 lane. That's going to be based off of skill matchup. Now the mid lane matchup, I think the Huskar is just going to own a puck. I don't know what a puck does.
Yeah.
And then the bottom lane.
Tough. It's tough. I think Rats and Bunnies just has the better lanes.
Yeah, I think the bottom lane's going to be the boring lane, just fair warning.
I mean, yes, like IO Leshrac, especially because he's going Chronoptic Nourishment, which means like you're not going to go for the Edict early kill pressure max. It's going to be tough to actually do anything as the Underlord and the Dark Willow here. Obviously, Dark Willow is still an absolute menace in lane and can maybe make this IO's life very difficult, but they have so much regen available to them, and on top of that, right, Leshrac well, he's not going to have kill pressure, is a relatively safe farmer when he farms with Lightning Storm. He actually hasn't taken anything level 1 quite yet, and there's the Lightning Storm level 1, and yeah.
He's taking a good bit of damage. I wasn't paying attention. So just based off of what you see right now, lanes and everything else, who do you think? Who's your call?
I'm still going Rats and Bunnies. Like,
Okay.
I just think, as I said, the draft is a little bit more cohesive here, and it makes a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know. I think first picking the puck was a mistake because it kind of led to this. You drafted yourself into a bit of a hole with it. Like, yeah, you're getting a comfortable lane that you wanted in this Leshrac IO, but at the same time, I think it can be pretty difficult to actually deal with the rest of this comp, especially if this AM is allowed to get off the ground. Which, as we see, this Legion trying to make his life a bit difficult right now. Sabo's been zoned off this wave by the Lich. Dragon S doing
I think this is exactly what
even more
you
damage on
want.
Wildman
Yeah.
Beasts.
This is what I was talking about, where it's kind of 50-50.
First blood to Daddy Odin.
This is what I was exactly what I was talking about, where it's kind of 50-50. If you take bad engagements, I think that's kind of your lose condition for the lane. Unfortunately, I think that's just what kind of happened there.
Yeah.
The classic old 2v1 in a lane. You look for those, and that's what wins you the lanes. But bottom lane looks to be going in the Leshrac's favor for now.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot Underlord can do here. Darkwill is going to be able to do more off a couple more levels than that level 4, but, like, really, Leshrac just sits back, farms with Lightning Storm. Yeah, you give him a bunch of free stick charges, but really it works out for him. 7-10-3 to the Underlord 9-1. About even. Huskar 11-9 to 5-2 puck. That's really the major lane lead right now, is top lane. CS is about even.
Okay, well, yeah, that was a good. There was a good trade going on top. I think the Legion's getting some good damage in on the AM, and that's kind of what they need to turn this lane around.
I'm gonna get some more damage on the Dragon S, but he's turning back around. Got that frost shield. I think I'll actually kill Sabo here, who doesn't have any mana. Dragon S gets some with that Frost Blast, and another kill going the way of the Rats and Bunnies top lane.
I think it's worth. Do you have last hits and denies up right now?
Yes.
I think it's worth looking at that that mid lane. It looks like it's getting rough. That's
15,
about what I expected.
13 to 6-2. I mean, yeah, that's a great Huskar game.
So, what is the timing that you look for on Leshrac 1? How would you play this?
I play this hero 3 and sometimes 2.
But I'm saying, based off of your knowledge of the hero, what would you play for here?
My knowledge of the hero right now is the typical 2 and 3 build at the moment is Yule Scepter, Kaya, Bloodstone. Once you have Bloodstone, then you're kind of unlocked and online, but you need the Yule Scepter to give yourself a Dispel and some survivability, because you don't really have inherent tankiness, and Bloodstone is a lot weaker than it used to be, and you need to have Kaya just to make your Bloodstone better. Plus the intelligence gives you extra AoE on all your abilities, which is very, very nice on Leshrac, and you get the extra mana regen. And in fact, you know, the extra mana regen plus an IO, I expect an early Kaya coming out from RCW anyway.
I guess the one thing to look out for is who's going to get the Spirit Vessel on this team, because they're going to need one.
It's got to be the IO, I'd have to imagine. Wizard in trouble. Out of the Shadow Realm comes JB8, and down goes the IO. I mean, right, your Spirit Vessel has to either be the IO or the Legion Commander, or not the Legion Commander, or the Vengeful Spirit, and either one technically can do it. They're both universal heroes, so they don't hate the item, but I would imagine the IO goes for it just because you can use it on yourself and regen the other guy. Meanwhile, Wildman Beast in a lot of trouble top lane, trying to turn back over Daddy Odin, gets Blood Grenade, and Wildman Beast barely gets out of dodge.
But as of right now, Legion is winning the lane. Or winning the creep the creep war, I guess.
Yeah,
I haven't
25 and
looked
4
at
to
the
18 and 3 isn't too bad, but like Legion's forced
No.
to take the long road back. So
All Legion really needs to do though is hit 2 items, and really just one. You get that blade mill, and then the AM can't fight this lane anymore. And once you hit level 6, I mean that's what you're playing for as the Legion. Like all things being equal, like going equal in this lane is actually probably pretty decent for the team. Especially if you can snowball that into really pressuring the AM.
RCW just treating this like a farm lane right now. We see the Lightning Storm max coming out, pretty expected for this style of play. Corruptic Nourishment does, of course, help you with some of your mana problems early, but he already has the Arcane Boots, going to get double from the IO. Firestorm comes down, as well as Bramble Maze into the Pit of Malice. Wizard still in trouble, stunned up by the J-Bay 8, who runs in, gets blasted out of the Shadow Realm onto Wizard, but unable to connect the kill, and RCW gets out, but the trade goes very favorably for Rats and Bunnies.
I think there's one thing to look for. Tokyo has a bottled haste rune, and he's about to hit level 6, and he does not want to play the lane, so we'll have to see which one he goes to. My guess is he's probably going to go top. I think a good kill on an AM or a Lich here can really turn this game in their favor, and I think that's what they need.
Asmore running away from RCW and Wizard, just don't have the ability to chase that right now. And yeah, going max Lightning Storm, as we said, to be expected with the facet that he went. But you're missing out on a lot of potential lane damage. Like, you definitely could have killed the Dark Willow the last time she went up, and we see the haste coming top for the puck. Has level 6, has that Dream Coil available to him. Gonna try to get on top of this AM right now. Vision not amazing for them at the moment, but Tokyo just running at the AM. Can't get the silence. Blink away from Daddy Odin. And puck roam will fizzle out as the spirit.
Oh, that's really punishing. Dang. Okay, well they still can play for the level 6 timing on the good old Legion. Because I mean, how many points does he have in Frost Shield? Frost Shield does what? 45% damage reduction at level. All right, never mind. You're really gonna have to do a
Dragonis.
Wow, that's a lot of
taking
damage.
a lot of damage, but they're gonna trade it back around onto Sabo. Daddy Odin maybe gets this kill here and does. Now has to blink out of the way. Wildman Beast still not level 6. Can't lock down the Animage, and there's not a whole lot Daddy Odin can do other than run away at the time, but
that's a really good trade there.
Works out well for them.
Mm-hmm. Leshrac is still having a good lane bottom, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever really worried about this lane. He's actually going Kaya first item.
Wow.
Should be able to get this kill into Asmore. Maybe not, though. He runs out of the way. Down he goes. Last auto attack to Wizard, and they are able to trade back around on top
I think they're gonna
of the
get
Dark
her too.
Willow. Down she goes. Takes down Wizard with her. But RCW gets the double kill bot side.
Okay.
And
he is
goes
going
pretty
for
well for
Kaya
Texco Green.
first.
Yeah, so this is the other option. I did mention going Yule Scepter first into Kaya into Bloodstone. If you really want to get an earlier timing, you can skip the Yule Scepter, but you have to remember, like, if you get God on as the Leshrac without Yule Scepter and without Bloodstone, you are in a whole world of hurt early on.
But the one thing to note too is look at the enemy team. I don't think Yule Scepter does anything but hurt you against this team. I think you set yourself up for a Bramble. You set yourself up for a double root on the Underlord. It doesn't really do much to help the Huskar. It doesn't really do much to help against an AM. I think it's kind of just like a wasted 2k net worth if you go the Yules. I think there's better items here.
The main they just get another double kill bot.
Oh wow. Okay.
So the logic of going Yules even in this matchup is that the combination of Bloodstone plus Yules dual side should be able to get the kill on the AM, and does.
Nice.
Dream Coil down as well. Dragonas running away. Little Man Beast continuing to chase center tower alongside Tokyo. No TPs coming in from the rest of the team. And in fact, the relocate from RCW and Wizard, they want to get the assist, just get the gold, and they're going to push onto this tower with the Diabolic Edict. 2 points in that. Not going to make that quick work of the tower, but it does force the glyph as they reload back bot.
If that's one thing about Warrior League in particular, and one thing that I've always struggled with in this game is outmaneuvering the enemy team.
Okay.
Warrior League can be more static than other leagues, but if Texco Green really steps up the tempo and makes good map moves, I think that's kind of how they want to play this game. If they just outmaneuver R&B, there's not much you can do about it.
I go on Sabo. Wilderman
they
Beast, 9 seconds on duel.
The Frost Shield too, yeah.
I mean, if we look at the net worth, the Puck is the poorest core, but the richest core is the Leshrac, and the third richest is the Legion right now. Has basically gone slightly ahead, basically even with the AM in this lane, which is kind of what they wanted, and they won the Leshrac lane super hard. Second poorest core is this Underlord, so despite losing this mid lane, it is a gold lead for Texco Green, and this Leshrac is going to be an absolute menace, roaming with that IO, has the Kaya available. As we mentioned, skipping the Yule Scepter, going Kaya Bloodstone. Just going to try to be more active earlier on with that build. I still would expect at some point a not Yule Scepter, but if this game gets very, very late, a Wind Waker, because that's kind of the idea around it. When you go out on Leshrac, is you buy time for your Bloodstone to be used, and Wind Waker's just better at that, but
I don't think either of these teams are planning on taking this game late. I think what R&B is playing for is this pipe timing on the Underlord. I think that's going to be really difficult for Texco Green to deal with, regardless of how fed this Leshrac gets.
Yeah, almost entirely spell damage from Texco Green, with the exception of that Legion Commander. And a lot of that spell damage is magic damage, a little bit of pure from the Puck, and a little bit from the Leshrac as well, but still...
Not enough.
Enough. Or
they did
a little
take
bit of
the
pure
tower
from the Leshrac, not from the Puck. For some reason, I thought Puck had pure damage on one of their abilities. By the way, stun under tower. In comes the Underlord, the other semi-global ability. Tokyo here tries to get the Dream Coil down as the reload comes in, and the Huskar and RCW Black Up barely goes down as RCW tries moving in with the rest of the team. JB8 here with the swap from Dragon Nest, stops him from under tower. Asmo goes down. Wilderman Beast picks up that kill with the Q. The Leshrac has fallen, but here comes the duel. Down goes the Dark Willow, and Dadioni is the last member of his team alive, goes 4 for 1 in favor of Texco Green. They got the better of Rats and Bunnies earlier in the upper bracket finals, and even though I wasn't a fan of this draft, they're making it work very well off the back of these IO reloads.
I think at the end of the day, they probably jumped the gun a little bit with that fight. I think that's one of those fights that you probably don't want to commit all your heroes to. I know your mid is getting gone on, but you don't have your item timings yet. They're really strong with all the spell damage. You gotta play for this pipe. I think right now, obviously, with all their spell damage, they're inherently stronger. And until you get the items that really propel you into, your timing, I think you just gotta avoid this strong Texco Green early start.
Playing that tempo, using the Diabolic Beat to push the tower, and Lightning Storm swap. Pit of Malice still gets magic missiled, and RCW picks up that kill, but Black Up decides he wants to go on. The Vengeful Spirit is dove a little bit too deep. Wilderman Beast on the backside of the fight, trying to pull out on top of this Dark Willow as they get the Dream Coil onto the Huskar once again. Wilderman Beast looking for the duel on a Huskar. Can he get it? Yes, he does. The Huskar, though, wins, and he's continuing to fight. Under tower gets 2 kills for it. Now going on a Wizard. Wizard gets that kill, but they will be able to trade back around with that Bedlam. Triple kill for Black Up off the Burning Spear, and 4 for 2 for Rats and Bunnies. Man, that Huskar survived for way too long.
Yeah, that sucks. This Legion still does not have... Well, I think she just bought her Blade Mail. I'd have to check that, but I'm pretty sure she just bought her Blade Mail, which sucks because she wins that if she has it. So, again, just some I don't know, jumping the gun a little bit here before the appropriate item timings, but... Other than that, I think Texco Green is actually playing this better than I ever thought that they would. This is a difficult draft to execute, and they're really performing fairly well.
Yeah, and they do have a stand-in in Sabo on their team. Unfortunately, weren't able to play with the normal 5-stack, but Sabo was approved by both teams, so it is all good for them. And really, their team play hasn't suffered a whole lot from that as well. Playing around that IO Leshrac. I will say, right, IO Leshrac as a combination is, even if you're playing it as a Leshrac 2 or a Leshrac 3, and we actually see him go Bloodstone Shivas here, is a very nice combination, not only because the IO gives your Leshrac mana and he likes that, not because the IO gives Leshrac extra spell damage, and he likes that. But also because reloading your Leshrac on top of the entire team is just very, very good.
Yeah, it is really good. That I cannot deny. This AM did hit her Battle Fury timing. Looks like there's another team fight brewing here.
Beast. In comes the Fiend's Gate. Black up, looking for an entrance on RCW and maybe Sabo. They got the Pit of Malice. The Leshrac doesn't have anyone from the rest of his team here at the moment, and in comes the ultimate, but he's able to get the splitter down on top of 2, and he's using the Bloodstone to heal back up, gets Black up, and now Asmore as well. Double kill for RCW. Disengaged with the Dark Willow ultimate, but she gets snapped by the Dream Coil, and RCW picks up that kill with the Lightning Storm. Sabo trying to find Daddy Odin
Daddy
right
Odin
now.
got juked. Good job, Sabo. That was really cool. Yeah, again, I think it's just overzealousness on the side of R&B here. I think they really needed this pipe before that they can jump in the middle of, especially a Leshrac with an IO behind him. If you can't go through that damage or out survive their damage right now, I think you just gotta play for the long game. And I think this is exactly what Texco Green wants you to do here. And right now too, the great thing is that the AM's not really a threat yet. So this Legion doesn't have the dilemma of having to pick one of the two of them. She can do what she does best, which is kill a Huskar with a Blade Mail. That's why you pick her.
So I did take a look at Dota 2 per checker on the Leshrac because I wanted to verify things. First of all, offline Leshrac is basically not getting played right now. His most popular is mid, and then with half the games it's 4 right now. But when I say no one's playing offline, no one is playing carry Leshrac either. I don't think. I mean, obviously this is kind of a player special, and Leshrac carry has been a thing for a while, but definitely kind of showing the difference between high MMR and mid MMR Dota, right? A lot of these picks that a lot of high MMR players shy away from, because various reasons they're not quite as optimal in that position as they could be, end up opening up to other positions the lower you go down in the ranks, and it's working out very well for them here because, again, Leshrac carry has been a thing for a long time. It's just not popular high MMR now, but that doesn't mean it can't be good, and we're seeing it be good this game.
I think the factor to watch for is maybe not high MMR versus low MMR, but I do think to some degree that does play into it. But I think a lot of it has to do with just matchup knowledge. Like, I even had to ask you at the beginning of this, what item timing would you play for? Because I don't know what a Leshrac carry does. I'm sure R&B is probably in the same boat as me if they've never played against it. So but it really adds in that like mystery factor. You don't know what their timings are, and that might be why they're jumping the gun on a lot of these fights. They just don't know whether or not they're strong.
I mean, maybe, but this is the exact same as the Leshrac mid build, except no Yule Scepter, right? And even then, as we mentioned, the Yule Scepter is kind of optional. It's that same play for Kyle Bloodstone, and then you have the Shiva's Guard going in.
Oh, this
might
is
get a
a
Blink
really
Dagger,
good
might get a
smoke.
Yule, so they're going to be able to get Black up here as well. There is no way out for this Huskar as he gets taken down, tries to get his armlet toggle to stay alive, and Wizard ends up stealing that gold away.
They did have vision there. They saw him. Wow. Yep. Caught him on that ward.
Underlord just right now cutting the wave.
He's getting very close to that pipe. He's playing safe. I think he's identified that that is what they need to play for here. And let's see where the AM's at. She's well on her way, but AM's going to take time.
The AM is now below the puck. 3 of the top 4 cores right now are all TGG, and the AM has basically been put down in the dirt, as has this Underlord, who is now poorest core, only about 1,000 gold up on this IO. I mean, this is a really, really late pipe. He's going to have it on Courier once it goes to the secret shop and picks him that Ring of Tarask, but still, it's not looking good, and RCW finds Osmore here. He has the pipe now, should be able to pop it to stay alive for a little bit longer, but just does not get it before he gets stunned by the Split Earth. The duel secures the kill to Wildemand Beasts, now sitting with 30 dual victory damage after 12 levels, and they move on to Roshan now.
I think the big takeaway here is look at the net worth at 20 minutes. It's 8K. Well, it was 8K. It's now 7K up. It's going to be 8K once they take this. But in the side of Texco Green, that's a huge lead for 20 minutes into this game.
Yeah, not quite hitting that 500 gold per minute schlacking. But it is time. Believe it or not, Oblivion KC, welcome to America's favorite game, Guess the Gaben. You've watched my streams before. You know how it works.
I forgot. I actually forgot what is Guess the Gaben. I forget.
Oh my gosh.
Hold
on one second. Dream Cold onto the AM. The Wilderman Beast comes back in with the Blink Dagger. They take down the AM, and the Dark Rift was not nearly enough. They got the duel just to stop him from going back through that Fiend's Gate double kill.
That was again
going
very
over to Texco
ambitious.
Green.
Did they?
Yeah, reload in. Yeah.
They didn't have vision there. I wonder if they caught somebody on that ward and expected it to just be one or two.
Okay, so guess the Gaben. The rule is, without looking, can you tell me what the Dodo Plus win probability is for the winning team right now? Who that team is? And you're gonna have to explain why it is what it is after we reveal what it is.
I feel like I've already kind of explained it, but I'm gonna go 72%. Wait, is this like a Price is Right situation? I'm gonna go 72% in the favor of Texaco Green right now.
Just get it as close as you can, not close as without going over. It is 80% for Texaco Green right now.
Yeah, I figure it might be a little bit higher. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Getting that Aegis in the Lush Rack makes a lot of sense. Also, they're going to have the Shiva's Guard for RCW out on Courier once it goes to the secret shop. He just bought the plate mail, so this is really, really scary now. Getting that extra armor, getting that regen reduction for that Huskar, which was the only core that was really doing a whole lot for Rats and Bunnies early. Now sitting number 4 in the net worth, all top 3 are Texaco Green. And this man sitting on a Sange and an Armlet, doesn't even have his BKB yet, 400 gold away from that, and it's going to be very difficult for him to get to that if they push this high ground right now.
I dare say, now that I realize that I didn't even know the Lushrock had the Bloodstone and the Shivas. Jeez, that dude's farmed. I'm gonna say it's even higher than 80%. That's crazy.
I mean, now it's 85%, but it's
that's rough. I don't think this AM's gonna be a factor in this game, unfortunately. I think the team is just kind of losing before she has her opportunity to get her items. I mean, the great thing about Warrior League, though, at least in my games, because we're bad, is that high ground is hard, and that's why we're Legend and Ancient players, is because we don't know how to take high ground.
Yeah,
but obviously these two teams, admittedly, are the best of us. So hopefully,
having climbed my way all the way from Herald to Legend over the past 4 years, let me tell you, once and for all, people forget how to push high ground once they hit Archon, and I still haven't seen anyone push high ground. It's like the bell curve meme where it's like on the low end with like Herald and Guardian Crusader, it's just push towers lol, and on the high end it's Divines and Immortals saying just push towers lol, and then in the middle you have this Archon Legend Ancient that just does not push high ground.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The good news is that AM is a mobile hero, and she is doing what she's supposed to be doing, which is cutting waves here. But no, you are 100% correct, and I think genuinely,
like, they've had this Aegis and they haven't pushed high ground with it once.
Low Ancient and High Ancient is just being able to push high ground. I think a lot of people make a little bit of all chat trolling, but I think legitimately the difference between low ancient and high ancient is just being able to push high ground, and it all comes to like a lack of discipline and like expanding your lead. And that's one thing that I have noticed that really separates the difference between good teams and bad teams in Warrior League in particular, is teams that play with more discipline and expand their lead before that they take the risks and they know that they can overcome the high ground advantage. That's your winning strategy right there. So it's really a matter of whether or not Texaco Green can really expand this lead and then really pressure them when they need to, and if they can do that before this AM becomes a factor.
So RCW is going sheep after the Kaya Sange comes out on courier form. 48 seconds on this Aegis. I mean, you're right about the pushing high ground. Teams that I've seen at higher MMRs, right? Like, if you have this Aegis, you are pushing high ground with it every single time. So, but as we kind of mentioned, right, it's a level of like, at this level, people know when it's bad to push high grounds. They're just not going to do it blindly. But also, like, there's a level of like being comfortable with things not being 100% when you push up high ground, right?
Yeah, I think personally it's really smart by Texas Green not to push high ground with their first Aegis, because I think it's a hard fight, especially with this Lich. Lich is really scary on high ground for a number of reasons, and then on top of that, you got Underlord. It's really easy to get stuck on high ground against this team. So it's definitely one of those things that I think that they really have to really push their net worth lead. I'm a little bit afraid timing wise that they're going to struggle here, but we'll see.
AM snaps the coil, in comes the duel, down she goes, and that Fiend's Gate is not going to be taken. RCW all alone. The rest of his team might take the Fiend's Gate here. Hold on, the Venge coming through.
Oh wow! The support by Odin here, not Odin. Asmore.
Got the magic missile into JB8 as well.
Remind me, I'm going to try and pronounce this guy's name.
Out of the Huskar.
We're going to do a bit, see who can pronounce this guy's name better than
that's Legion Ags right now for Wilderman.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's really feeling it right now. RCW, though, taking out the Chain Frost, gets swapped out by Sabo. The Chain Frost will end up fizzling on the Legion commander as Tokyo was able to
that's
use the
actually
Winning Rift
good.
to get out.
I'm surprised they even decided to try that. I thought that was a very risky move by them, but I guess they do always have the IO but IO binge save. They have 2 saves on their team.
Yeah.
But you gotta trust your supports. That's for my supports who are watching right now. You gotta trust your supports.
RCW going... I was pointing this out a little bit before this high ground push. RCW is going Sheepstick. Definitely an item that Leshrac does like and can go. Not something you see a whole lot on the hero right now, just because people like prioritizing that Windraker. But still, that extra mana regen is really good, and it helps you lock down this Anti-Mage or Huskar in a given fight. Speaking of Wilderman Beasts, let's just get... Is it Wildman Beats or Wilderman Beats? I do not know.
Hold
ends
on,
up getting
I gotta stop saying
duel
wow. I just keep saying that.
ends up getting a solo duel onto the AM as the Dark Willow ends up getting absolutely destroyed. We are into Schlacking territory. Wait, Wilderman Beats. Wildman Beats? I don't know. If he doesn't spell it like wild, it's an extra E.
Maybe Wild Man Beats was taken. Did you ever think of that?
It's okay, but like, no. Either way, continuing to push up the high ground with the Diabolic Edict right now, taking up a bit of damage through that Firestorm, but he's got the IO, keeping him alive, still has that Bloodstone available to him, and actually want that Eternal Shroud before
it was Eternal Shroud,
going for the Sheepstick. Eternal Shroud, very value on Leshrac, gives you the extra mana, especially up against
Alright, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you want a BKB against this team?
Quite honestly, like, yes. But, like, if I were playing Leshrac in this game, I would have gone BKB before Shiva's and then built the exact same thing. And then instead of this Eternal Shroud, I might have gone a Wind Waker, but the Eternal Shroud is definitely value. I think RCW just is like, my team has so much save already, and so long as I get Bloodstone off in a fight, I'm going to live.
I can see that.
That's a little bit risky, but they're going to go for it, and he definitely sounds confident. Going up onto Asmore right now. Odin looking his way into the fight, but gets caught up in the puck on the side. As we get this splitter, it's on to 3 members. Black up trying to get onto RCW, but it's being done by the Leshrac. At the time, he's able to stay alive, and they got the duel on the Oscar. The duel victory goes over to the Legion Commander, and Batty Odin has to run away. They've already bought back, and in comes the Fiend's Gate from Asmore. He's going to try to get back into base, but cannot take it. Gets the... Pit of Malice down, but he goes down for a dieback. Triple kill for RCW. And that Huskar almost stayed alive through the duel. You saw they didn't have a whole lot of damage to deal with them there, but just locking him down was enough, and RCW was able to run wild just with the tether from Wizard, keeping him alive with that Bloodstone.
That's a classic Leshrac stat check right there.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have enough stats to kill me? Nope. Uh-oh.
Look, as a Leshrac player, I love stat checking people like that. I mean, RCW, what a game! 11-1-12. That Lesh IO, you know, we were questioning it going 1, right? But
I think honestly it just came down to a couple of the fights that R&B chose to take before that they were really ready. They took a little bit too preemptive fights there, and it really put Texaco Green in a position where they could make this play and really suffocate out the map so that nobody could get the items that they needed. It's one of those snowball effects.
Last fort. I mean, yeah, but like you RCW and Viz were very, very comfortable on this pick. I'm playing it like this.
Honestly, RCW
right,
played this like crazy. Like he played so well. Seeing how he did in lane was really surprising, personally.
Wizard, by the way, went full GG boots, getting drums now, and is going harder to ask. This is like... Yeah,
Leshrac is not going to die.
this is the chattest IO... Like, has completely and totally skipped Holy Locket. It's just like, nah, I don't need it. GG boots it is.
Do we think R&B can kill just these two? Taking Roche? Oh, not... Get rid of Will Demand Beats. But I don't know if they could. I'm gonna be real with you. I think between Wizard and RCW, I think they take the entire R&B team right now.
Also, forgot the shard on IO when they changed it to give the spell lamp just on overcharge by default. It made it so overcharge gives spell lifesteal to both IO and the overcharge target. By the way, Daddy Odin just gets dream coiled, and the rest of the team piles on. Yeah. We're almost to 1k per minute. Net worth advantage for Texaco Green. We're gonna play Guess the Gaben one last time.
I'm gonna say 98 to 99%.
97%. You were actually barely off.
Dang.
Where's the 3% coming from? Where's the 3% coming from, Mr. Oblivion Casey?
They have a tower.
Well, they can't push through backdoor. Leshrac doesn't actually get to do that very easily, but they've got it. Just as the creeps come in the end of Diabolic.
I mean, he's got Aegis. He's not getting off this high ground. Plus, he's got an
and he's got a BKB
sitting behind him.
And he's got a BKB just sitting in a stash. Also.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
The Kaisan, so.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, probably 100%. Realistically.
Not 98 now, 99 now.
Gaben's catching up.
Gaben is catching up. Honestly, just really well played from Texaco Green. Rats and Bunnies. We mentioned they made a couple of mistakes, a couple of hyphy fights early as Black Up nearly gets dueled by Wildman. Beats now going back in with the ultimate, gets swapped up by Sabo as the Huskar goes down into the buyback. RCW already popped the Bloodstone. He's got some damage now as Daddy Odin moves on top of him. He does have the Sage of the Immortal available to him, but there's a two-man stun by the Venge, and Wizard is just keeping this Leshrac alive. He doesn't even have Bloodstone up right now. He's getting dealt with by an anti-mage, and he's gaining mana. Triple kill for RCW, immediate buyback from the Dark Willow, and now he's diving high ground, goes into the Aegis, the duel from the Legion. They want one for the road. Down goes the line.
All right, you know what?
And RCW tries to get JBA one last time, gets the ultra kill. GG calls, and Texaco Green take game number 1.
That was R&B's fault for not calling GG. But really well played by both teams.
Okay, so we doubted this draft. We doubted this draft so hard with the first pick Puck and the Huskar and everything else. Doesn't matter if the Huskar never gets online. Really well played.
That's the sad thing, is he did get online. He destroyed the Puck, but it didn't matter because Leshrac and the entire R&B team was just not... The R&B was not ready for this Leshrac. Just plain and simple.
It does not seem that at all, and obviously that... I don't know, we're so late to that pipe, it just kept snowballing for Texaco Green. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, game number 2. This is a best of 3 series. We'll be right back after this. Welcome all, and welcome back to the AD2L Season 14 2 Warrior League Grand Finals. My name is Finnick, joined by Oblivion KC. We're a little bit late to the Game 2 draft, but Texaco Green won game number 1. They are on the Radiant side. They have last pick. First pick goes over to Rats and Bunnies on the Dire side, and the picks are Pangolier and Lich from Texaco Green, Dragon Knight from Rats and Bunnies, the Bans, the Puck, the Venge, the IO, not the Lashrak though, banning out the Drow and the PA from Rats and Bunnies, as Texaco Green banned out Nyx Assassin, Clockwork, AA, Doom, and Invoker, and Jakiro has now been picked by Rats and Bunnies.
I already like Texaco Green. Their draft better because they pick Lich. Lich, good hero. What can you do? TK is a good hero too, though. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm assuming that's going to be a carry DK.
I mean, it kind of has to be. DK is kind of the most broken hero of the patch right now.
But pretty good hero. But so is Lich. Lich is also a very broken hero, so.
Yeah.
Well, how about Pango, though? I actually don't know what Pango's win rate is right now. I'll have to check. I haven't seen him in a while. Give me a second. Not good. Not good. That's why you pick it first, right? All right? That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, pretty evenly played between mid and offlane, though, in high MMR pubs, so, like...
Maybe it's a flex pick for them.
Maybe it's a flex pick. Who knows? It was really busted, and then they nerfed the Thunderbolt facet.
Oh, it is a flex pick for them. Both their offlane and their mid play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would explain it.
Centaur, also very good hero. Play a lot of that one. I don't know if it's pretty good into the ledge, actually. Helps you disengage off of the Chain Frost. Get away from all of his nasty AoE spells. Not to mention the Pango ult, too. It's just, honestly, good pick against both of those.
Indeed it is. Cover the Slark and the Centaur here.
Yep.
Bit unfortunate. For that Centaur.
Yeah, that's a classic lane matchup.
Lich Slark and a Centaur +1. That's a yikes for the Centaur.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly.
This is a classic stack jungle creeps so that my Centaur can recover, because there's no way you win that lane. There just isn't.
I mean, I wonder what support they're gonna give with the Centaur. Obviously, the Dragon Knight is going 1 here.
Yeah.
Pick up for Ogre. So holding that flex Pango for 24th pick. They picked off that Ogre Magi. I mean, quite honestly, what do you even do into this Slark? You've already picked 2 of your cores.
I don't know if I like the Ogre Magi. I don't know what it gives them.
I mean, I'm not sure about the Ogre Magi either, but let's think about the Slark pick, right? You already picked 2 cores. Both of them are bad into Slark. What do you do about this hero?
Pick Legion. Not Legion. They already picked their 3. I was just spitballing. The Quap is good. I mean, it's burst damage is the answer. Burst damage, silence, anything that locks him down long enough to not get his spells off or kills him outright. And they do have a lot of CC. So if they get their stuns off right, and they've got damage. I mean, they've got the damage to kill him if they get the correct initiation. So I think they've got an answer to Slark. It's really just a matter of what do they do once the Slark gets BKB, which that's more of like a skill thing. But I do think they've got answers for him, at least early game.
I think maybe they do. Like, again, both their 1 and their 3 get countered by this pick, right? They're putting a lot into this Quap. Grant you, like you and I play with a certain Immortal player that likes playing Centaur 4. So it's entirely possible this is a Centaur support, but
I'm gonna guess not.
I'm gonna guess not either. But like,
you never know.
Look at the pick
would
order.
Would they save the pos 4? No, they would actually save the pos 4. J-Bay, I know for a fact, plays some weird stuff, so it would not surprise me if they save that for last pick.
I mean,
5 seconds remaining.
Dark Willow's banned. I think that's kind of one of the more obvious high damage. Like you need some sort of high damage pos 4 here, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, okay, Dark Willow's off the table. Maybe you go something like a Pugna here. I could see from RNB. Also helps prevent the Slark from doing anything in certain fights.
Pugna is really scary, I think, for Texas
yeah.
Because I think what I see right now, based off of these drafts, is RNB has a really good draft for pressuring early before the Slark comes online. And yeah, the Centaur is going to need a minute to recover, but at the end of the day, once Centaur gets Blink, you can kind of make the plays around the map that you need to play.
I got for Lina. I mean, I guess Lina kind of does what Pugna does on current patch. Sits there, blows up a
both
target.
Lena and Quap are the only vulnerable ones to Ogre Magi, and those were the ones picked after Ogre Magi.
Yeah,
So.
but
Seconds remaining.
there are your answers to the Slark.
5 seconds remaining.
I like, what did I say, right? You need a high damage +4. Lena is definitely on that, right?
Mm-hmm. If they get murked,
We have her
I was
Viper.
going to say burst damage. That's not burst damage.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's good against this Dragonite.
That
It's really
is
good against the Dragonite.
Disgusting.
Okay, it is J-Bay Lena,
Yeah,
so that's
okay.
a +4 Lena.
That is
Huh.
that is that is a disgusting Viper pick. How did R&B not ban that? What?
Yeah, that's rough, actually.
What?
I hate to say it, but I do think R&B's draft is more well-rounded, but I do think that the Viper pick does a lot.
I said the
fix.
same thing last game. We both
That's
said
true.
the same thing last game.
I know. I really thought that this DK was going to be able to run over the game, but the Viper kind of changes things a lot.
I mean, the Slark changes that a lot too.
I don't know.
I
think between they have a lot of burst damage with the Slark, especially early. So before he gets like Ags BKB, I think he's going to struggle if he tries to fight this team as a 5v5. But I do think that it's nearly impossible now for R&B to execute what they wanted to do, which is kind of group up early, get aura items, get initiation items on the Centaur, and then hit your timing on DK so that you just push towers, basically. I think that's hard now with both Lich and the Viper. It's really difficult. And then plus you always have the Pango, who's a significant threat to really catch somebody out. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, though.
I have to go I mean, they just looked way too good in game number 1. They have all these answers. Yeah, they have ways to blow up the Slark, right? But, like, in a vacuum, Slark beats both DK and Centaur, right? In a vacuum, Viper counters their entire fucking team. I'm not supposed to swear on my own stream. I never swear on my own stream. What the heck?
Yeah, you told me specifically not to, and I've been good so far. All right, but I think I'm actually going to have to agree with you. Even though I want to disagree with you, I think I'm going to have to agree with you. And mainly off of the fact, I mean, we've talked about the Viper, but I do also think, after seeing RCW's plays on the Leshrac, my concern with Slark, anytime anybody picks it, is you're gonna play it bad. But I'm hoping that RCW plays it well. So
so for what it's worth, Gaben gives RMD 54% here, but
yeah, we'll see how lane goes though. I think Gaben's gonna have a different tune after these lanes.
First blood, RCW up on the high ground, gets stomped by 2 into the LSA. RCW should go down for first blood here. It gets over the wall just barely. Gets denied by Sabo.
Denied.
Wildman Beats might end up falling here. The Centaur is a little bit faster. Went hook stop level 1. It's gonna be close getting under tower. He barely gets out. Whew. Good heads up deny by Sabo. Also went learning curve, so this Viper is going to be playing 1v2 for the first level.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, you're right. Wait, is it...
The battle begins.
Hold on. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I got the teams mixed up. The different positions. I was thinking different heroes were on...
No.
Opposite teams. It was weird.
Wildman Beats, like, he has to play the first level with half health and with an ogre that literally just right clicks for 78 damage, and that's it.
Yeah, that's about the best start that you can have for this DK and Shakira in a lane. I'll tell you what. Do you know the mid matchup between Quap and Pango? I have no clue.
This is a question for Angry Sun, and
my guess is that Quap does better here.
My initial guess is that Quap does better here.
It might be 50-50 though. I don't know.
My initial guess is definitely Quap does better here, but
I don't know.
see.
Definitely.
I mean, you and I are both offlaners, so we know more about the offlanes, about
I
the
know,
side
right?
lane matchups than the mid lane matchups.
But yeah, it's probably not it's not the best cast to have two offlane players, but it is what it is. What can you do? I do think,
and also, look. I know you're scarred from a certain one of our 5-stack playing Slark like every single game. Okay,
oh yeah, that was bad.
but
That was bad. Or is bad.
Look, we've seen Slarks take over games.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
I do think it's interesting that he chose to take Pounce because he was dying. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
he took Pounce because he needed to get over the wall to survive.
well, that makes Centaur's lane a little bit easier too.
Yeah, and now he's got the point in the Eshin shift and I'll have the Dark back next. But like, nice.
Yeah, I mean, if
there.
they punish things like that where he's overextended for a creep last hit, I think it's still winnable for R&B in this bottom lane.
Wildman Beats does hit level 2. Sabo actually gave him the solo XP to do that, so still Sabo is a creep at the moment, but that will not be the case after this wave crashes tower.
But once he hits it, oh baby, things are changing. Yeah, it looks
there we
about
go.
even.
2
Hold on,
points
I'm
on
gonna-
Ignite, 1 point in Fire Blast.
How's
level
mid
2.
going? Yep, about even mid. Wait, hold on. Pango has 8 denies. That's a lot of XP.
That is. I mean, Tokyo had an absolutely terrible lane last time, and then it didn't matter.
Well, yeah.
So,
We'll
I mean,
see.
as we mentioned,
that was
we
good.
thought the Quap would be favored in this matchup, but if Tokyo's getting all these denies, right, and is just kind of winning the lane, then Blackup did not look good once he got behind that last game. And grant you, he was playing Huskar, and Huskar never looks good when he's behind, but like,
Yeah.
like I can feel like you can say the same thing for Quap, right?
I would not sleep on Blackout. At least in my experience playing him, which granted was only 2 games. But and scouting him before the said games, he was a scary one to watch out for. So we'll have to see. I think this Quap, at the very least, is going to be looking to rotate when she hits 6, and she's more likely than not going to look to rotate against the Slark Lich combo, and that could really bring the Centaur into the game. But it looks like the Centaur's having a decent time.
Yeah, it's all on JBay too. RCW
actually.
might actually go down here for first blood, trying to get away. Doesn't have pounds for another second.
Oh.
1 second to lead auto attack. JBay 8 gets first blood, and now the LSA on the Wizard gets the Dragon Slave out as well, and Wizard broken by one of those creeps.
That's
Barely
actually
stay
huge.
alive.
I think this bottom lane going in the direction of Texas Green is a lot of
and
what
JBay's
they're.
diving the tower.
Wow.
No.
I think this bottom lane going in the favor of Texas Green is a lot of what their draft kind of hinges on a little bit.
So, I mean, we kind of mentioned with that last pick that JBay needed to have some sort of like high damage 4 to be able to take care of this stuff. Really, this lane is going as well as it is almost entirely because JBay is holding this LSA for Slark last hits. So RCW can barely hit up onto the wave, and then he has to pounce away from an LSA or just tank it to the face and hope Wizard's able to trade back. So, a really smart play from JBay
Yeah.
on this Lina through this laning phase, making the Centaur have a much easier time of it than he really should up against the Slark Lich.
And
as I say that though,
he's tanking spells too. No, that's exactly what you want because your Centaur's already too low to really tank any spells. Okay, might have taken
Also
one
an
too many
RCW.
there, but
Double
see.
Edge, Dragon Slave, RCB?
Is he going?
Maybe Pounce and Dark Path
Oh, he's
back.
going Max Retaliate, I guess maybe.
Yeah, it seems to be going Master Retaliate.
I think you kind of have to, regardless. Even though you're winning lane right now, I think it's still as scary as this lane goes on.
I strike array on a
Oh.
Wizard once again, trying to trade back on a JBay 8.
They're just
The leash lands on Alina, able to get it off with the Q and gets the double.
Wait, how did Lich die?
That
Did he
was
die to
so rude.
Did Lich
That-
die to a wild dragon slave or something?
I
Or
think
what
he
did-
died to a wild dragon. That was so rude. What the heck, man?
It happens. It happens.
Oh, RC Dub. He had a great game in game number one. Obviously, on less of a stat checker, but still, like.
Honestly, I don't think it really matters because the scary thing here, the whole reason why I really picked Texaco Green over R&B was that I was worried that the Centaur wasn't going to be able to come online before anybody else does, and I think that was. But I think they have the capability now to really group up and outmaneuver Texaco Green.
Yeah, they also just have a lot of damage on RCW. As you see, that Light Strike Array, plus Dragon Slave, plus Double Edge.
Yeah, they have a
plus
lot of
Stomp,
burst
like,
damage.
It is a lot of burst early on for the Slark, which he doesn't really like. He's got 3 points of impact now, which makes it a little bit easier. Meanwhile, topside, we haven't really talked about this. Wildman Beats is dumpstering Daddy Odin. Not
that's
massively,
no
but it is
surprise.
35-3 to 24-2.
I mean, it's no surprise.
I mean,
it's kind of what it is.
I mean, we have to remember, right? The break was taken off another toxin and moved to Viper Strike some time ago.
Yeah, but it
but
doesn't matter.
it
The
doesn't
poison
matter.
attack. It's
like-
really this poison burst. That facet is so good. It makes it really difficult to lane into. And you can see he's even just not laning.
39-15, dude.
He's just not even laning
15
anymore.
denies. This man is at over 2 denies a minute right now. What?
TP on the Pango.
Hello?
Wow,
Okay.
there you go. Got him.
Down goes the Centaur.
Gonna get
Stun on to
more
JB8.
bait.
Gets this follow-up stun on JB8. He's running back. Third time's the charm. RCW
Yep.
with the Dark Pact. Gets the ultimate out.
All right.
Double kill for RCW.
Oh, Blackout making a
Hey,
desperate save here. What?
It's just for the tips are just for Frostivus. All right, the tips are just for Frostivus. You need to get the tips in for Frostivus. All right.
Dire's
Do you? I haven't even looked at that.
You get so the hardest the one Frostivus drop thing that is you're gonna get the lowest amount of requires you to build a snowman before the horn, and then you get it for and you get 2 for snowballing someone before you kill them, and you get 1 for each time you tip or are tipped. So
Interesting.
in your
So
pubs,
PMA?
it is in your pubs. It is in
PMA?
your best interest to use both your tips before the end of the game.
They're just helping him out, you know? They're just helping him out.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did actually go max retaliate on the Centaur. Max dark back on Slark.
Just playing a bit defensively, honestly. Makes sense. We take a look at net worth, and wait, the Slark is how is the Slark 4,200 gold compared to 3,100 on Asmore? What? I guess he has 4 kills. But
He has 4 kills? Holy. What
Yeah.
did I miss? I guess he got all of those kills,
because
didn't
of the Pango roam
Yeah.
bot.
I would have
he
imagined
got both those
one
kills.
of those went to somebody else, but
No.
fair enough. I mean,
Okay. Now that's
again, I still think the Centaur coming online early is gonna provide them R&B the opportunity to really make the plays. But at the same time, Slark is making a play right now. My game is crashing. Okay, it's back.
Lucy made top side.
Can you-
Dragoness
can
in
you hear me?
trouble. Down goes the Jakiro.
Oh, hold on.
Odin tries to TP out. Gets Viper Strike and stunned by a Fire Blast. Bye DK.
My,
You tip Daddy
my
Odin.
headphones died.
Sabo tips Daddy Odin. RC. They're all tip Daddy Odin. All right.
Dire's top
wait, what did he do besides just die?
tower has
I
He
don't
just
know,
got
man.
vipered.
I
What can you do?
I mean, Viper into Fire Blast, yeah. And a TP bot.
I mean,
RCW's got the
happen.
Shadow Dance up right now. Wizards got Chain Frost.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They're just pushing onto this tower. I mean, it's looking a lot like game number 1. And you mentioned Rats and Bunnies needed to play the tempo early on this game. They're not able to do that right now. Sabo up on this high ground. Gets a stun onto Black Up. Has the Ignite coming in. Wildman beats 2 seconds on Viper Strike. The Sonic Wave comes through. Sabo goes down. Black up with that
Okay.
kill.
You
So
take
killing
what
us
you
before,
can
Light
get.
Strike away on
Take what
RCW.
you
Gets
can
the
get.
Laguna Blade as well, but the Frost Shield's here. Into the Chain Frost once again. They're moving back around. The Fear on Asmore. RCW
Oh, they can
gets
get
out
this guy.
barely.
No, they can
Now
keep going.
JB8 and Asmore continue to move on a Wizard at the moment. RCW.
I do think that
Oh, he
R&B
has
can still
Diffusal,
be.
but he gets some by the Light Striker Ray. Has to run away. One Dragon Slave will do him in. Down he goes.
Oh, wow.
Dominating streak ends. Tokyo TP's in. Is able to pick up the kill on a JB8.
I do still think that R&B can be aggressive here once they get the blink on the Centaur. Because at the same time, they still have burst damage to kill these guys, right? It's really just getting the right initiation, getting the right target. Viper can only be in one spot at the end of the day. And
Tokyo
he's
on a
going to be in...
Dragoness.
He's going to be in the spot that's really going to
Using the
like apply the
Stampede
most pressure
to
on the
try to
map.
get
So
Jakiro away. Black Up's here. Forces Tokyo to just continue rolling out of dodge. Sabo,
Smoke
by the
up.
way, 990 gold away from the Midas. As you do on Ogre.
Dire's
what do we
bottom
got?
is under attack.
DK's
Wizard.
working. Does he have his? Is he
In
not...
trouble bot. RCW's
Going
making his
on.
way over, but this will be a 4v2. RCW has Shadow Dance available. He spots 2, spots 3, Frost Shield, Double Edge, LSA, Laguna Blade, and Asmore gets the kill.
That's exactly what you look for. That's why they've got that burst damage.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Bomb Beats just doing Viper things topside. Can't even get the Aghanim Shard yet to push the
It
towers.
is what it is.
But
I honestly think fighting it here is probably not a good idea on this side of R&B.
I mean,
Unless you bring all 5 and have a way to start the fight, which they don't have a way to start the fight right now because
TP's
Centaur
coming
ulti
in
is
bot
down and they
side.
don't have
Botman
blink yet.
Beats gets the breakdown onto Asmore. TP coming up
There
from
you
the
go.
Ogre. Wizard's already in. They get the Macropyre down, but they're moving in on Asmore continually. Sabo looking for his way into the fight. Gets the Centaur stomp on 2. The double edge does not connect. And Wildman Beats gets the kill.
Yeah, sending Black up top to defend opened up for that play. Just a good old heads up play by the Viper to acknowledge or to really recognize the fact that, you know, he's got
Also-
2 people top and can fight bottom.
Something that we haven't talked about quite yet is they've actually gone double Diffusal. So Tokyo went Diffusal Blade, as did RCW. So, you know, we talk about this magic damage and all this burst. Doesn't really matter if you're out of mana. Like, once RCW gets BKB, they're really just going to be able to rip through the mana pools of everyone else, and then once the BKB ends, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to be able to get
think at
spells
the
down.
end of the
Asmore going in
hold
with the
on, we'll
Centaur
talk about
Stomp. In comes the Rolling Thunder. Sabo's here. Gets the Ignite onto 2. The Sonic Wave comes through. Sabo very low. And in comes the Rampage. But unfortunately for them,
Well,
Stampede
what I
wasn't
was
nearly
gonna
enough.
say, ironically, what I was gonna say is I think R&B is gonna be the one starting the fight, so they kind of get to pick and choose who they're going on. But it doesn't seem like that happened there. That just seems like what even started that fight? I didn't see it. Was it just a catch by the Lich?
It wasn't even that. It was literally Blink Reveal on Centaur.
Oh, okay, just a bad go then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if they do catch somebody with the blink and with all their CCs and bursts, I mean, they can kind of pick and choose who they want to not be in these fights. But
up.
it really is all about execution.
And the Macropyre forced out of Dragonus mid lane, but PGG gets out.
Yeah, they still
275
have to
gold on the Midas
contend
for
with this Viper,
Sabo.
though.
You can't forget the Ogre Midas timing. It's the most important timing in this entire early
Yeah,
game.
I know. You mentioned it a couple times.
Blink, Stomp,
Oh,
Double
caught
Edge.
out. Unfortunate. Wait, Dagon? I like it.
I mean, that's Dagon is meta on Quap right now, yes.
Is it?
Yes, that is what you go. If I pull up Dota 2 Pro Tracker right now, and I pull up Queen of Pain, let me double check this.
I mean,
Because
I
every time
can
I've seen
see
a
it.
Quap in my games, they've picked Dagon.
it
Yeah, it's-
gives them extra burst damage, which I
Yeah,
think is really good against the Slug
Dota-
and the Pango. So.
Dota 2 Pro Tracker is literally saying core items 12-minute Dagon. So
12-minute Dagon, nice. Nice.
94% of games you get a Dagon, and then 73% you go Kaya. But yeah,
they're smoking top to fight this, but they don't have the Viper. Viper's going through teleporter, but if they catch somebody before the Viper gets there, I think this could be good.
They don't have Quap here either, and they find JB8. Rolling Thunder, Blink revealed. JB8 can't really get out of this one. Gets leashed up by the Slark and goes down as Tokyo and Wildman Beats dive onto the backside of the fight. Asmore now the target. He's broken up. He goes down. The Double Edge does nothing. And it's now dragging us all alone. Trying to dodge through the trees. Potentially get out. They scan for him behind the Roche Pit. But nobody expects him to go in towards your base. Doesn't have a TP to get out of dodge though, so
yeah, RB really just needs to find their connection here with or find their initiation. Really, seems like Texaco Green has really caught them off guard the past couple times here, and I think it's just fighting under vision. Because most of R&B had shown on wave there, and Texaco Green had smoked up towards them, so it's just.
By the way,
just the awareness that's really been the difference so far.
So let me ask you.
Yep.
Real quick. R&B. How much of their damage is spell damage? How many of their heroes on their 5-man team does primarily spell damage?
I mean, why are you asking?
Just tell me. Just tell me.
I did 4.
Yes. What item does Wildman Beats have for his first item?
I have not checked. Where is he at? Which one is Wildman Beast?
Don't even look.
I found him.
He's playing Viper. What item do you go on a right-clicking 3 when there are 4 members of the enemy team that primarily do spell damage?
Yeah, that's gonna be bad. This man's going to be unkillable for starters, and he's going to help his team survive too with that. And he's going BKB after that. Yeah, that dude's not going to die until this Dragonite really comes online, but even then, I think they're really going to struggle against him. But again, I think...
R&B. A fine Sabo should be able to be an easy kill.
Honestly, you know what that is, Philip? Or Finnick, excuse me. You know what that is?
What?
That's called impact right there. That's called impact. Taking the gank. Sabo has taken 3 ganks here, and I think that is what's really being the difference here.
And he's got a Midas charge charging, so he's not even going to lose up time on his Midas.
The most important factor, don't forget.
The most important factor. Look, I remember back when I first started casting Dota, talking to Stockton to Malone of Dark Horse fame. The man was at the time for pubs only played support, but for AD2L only played 1. Now he plays support whenever he plays, but he's oftentimes not playing. But his main support is literally, for a long time, was Ogre, and he told me one day that it doesn't matter what it is always correct to go Midas on Ogre. And
I was also told that even if you go to like 40 minutes, it's still worth it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's true.
It doesn't matter if it's core 4 or 5. Like there are people who really don't like it when you go Midas on Ogre, but it is objectively correct every single position this man goes.
I think I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I do genuinely think it depends on the game and the timing that you're going for. But
look, Stockton is higher ranked than even all the Immortals we play with. Okay, I will take his word as gospel on this.
I don't know.
The times I've
I'm
casted
allowed
with
to have
them,
my
we see
opinions
Midas.
even if they're wrong.
Look, you're a legend scrub just like me. You're not even an ancient scrub anymore.
All right. Jeez, you don't have to go for the throw. Golly.
Rolling Thunder, mid lane, finds its way on a black up as the Deckline dive comes through from the Lina, but she might be in trouble and goes down as black up goes. Wizard very low, the Lina's down. Daddy Odin trying to do damage to Sabo right now, but he's being taken down by the Slark. He goes down, the blink in, the leash as well. Quap coming back into the fight, has the ultimate available to her off the buyback, but Tokyo's just continuing this dive with RCW, pounces back, gets the leash on the Asmore, and the Sonic Wave only hits Tokyo. Down goes the Pangolier, but it's a triple kill for Wildman Beats, and RCW leashes up, Black up, and a dieback on the Quap.
Oh no.
6 for 1 in favor of TGG.
That's the worst case scenario for R&B right there. Wow. Dang. Yeah, I mean, to me, it just felt like a really bold play for R&B to be positioned where they were before that fight, like so aggressively positioned on the mid tower. I don't think they were strong enough to do that, and I think they just got punished for it. But now I think it's a really hard game. I think it's really hard to come back from that.
He was so Stockton also was like one of the fucking. Jeez, I haven't streamed on my own stream in a while. That's 2 swears. He's also one of those guys that, like, I forget if it was Dazzle or Warlock, but one of them had like an ultimate that gave them. I think it was Dazzle. At one point, had an ultimate that gave him like a lot of CDR and items, where like the man would go Midas on Dazzle. Every game. Like, you would look at his Dota, at his Dota buff.
I think I'm understanding this guy a little bit more now. I think he just likes Midas.
I mean, it's good on both those. It was good on Dazzle when he had that ability.
Yeah.
I think it was Dazzle, right? I'm not making this up?
No, yeah, Dazzle had the cooldown.
Yeah, okay.
You're right. They've changed that hero so many times. Right now, he's got that ultimate.
They really have.
He's got that ultimate. I think that he sacrifices health for cooldown, doesn't he?
I
don't know if that's items though. I couldn't tell you. That's how much I know the game. So just ignore everything I've told you this entire time.
Look, all I know is Dazzle and Warlock are both on my ban list because I hate both those heroes so much. I mean, Warlock can probably
play Axe. I've told you this. Just play
Warlock.
Axe.
Well, Warlock can definitely be taken off my ban list because he's no longer busted. Because they completely and totally just they nerfed that hero into the ground because Upheaval was the most busted support ability in the game for a long time.
So what do you think? I'm really trying to think here, but I'm curious to see what you think. What do you think R&B's way back into this game is?
Do you want the actual answer or the answer I'm supposed to give because I'm a caster?
I want you to give me hope for R&B.
Okay. Well, we'll play guess the game in first, and then I'll tell you. All right.
Oh no! You looked at it? That's cheating.
I haven't yet. You've got it. You've got to do it.
Okay. All right. My guess. Oh, hold on. I'll guess after this. Oh no! They had to use that defensively again.
They'll still get J-Bay. Self uses, but down goes the Lena. Swashbuckle for the kill. So, go
Honestly,
ahead.
I'm going to go 85-90% in favor of Texaco Green.
75% actually. No, 79%. Okay. Excuse me.
Okay.
And then pick up the Quap as well. So now it's 81%. You know, it's just it's getting closer. So that 20% ish really is just. If you, hypothetically, in a perfect scenario, if everything goes right for you, you can make space for the DK to just power farm, and then he just wins. Even with the Viper. However,
I think
this is not that scenario. It's not gonna happen.
I know.
I think realistically, the only way for them to win this is if Texaco Green throws. Right?
I think what really R&B has to be doing right now is getting deep vision and then looking for a smoke. They have to look for a smoke play. They cannot wait for Texaco Green to bring the fight to them because they're just going to lose. They're just going to lose if Texaco Green is playing as 5. And right now, they have been playing fairly split. So if they can look for that play, I think that's your way back in. Obviously not against this Viper, but against anybody else on their team. I think you just have to go for it.
This is also the second game in a row. Asmoran... he blinked before I could finish his name. Asmorana Mardica.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good attempt.
Is just stuck waiting for a pipe.
Yeah, but in his defense, he did go multiple items before this time.
He
So.
did go a blink first this time, but also,
Yeah.
like, it feels so bad. RCW gets his Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, if you see this Pango mid and you see Slark Viper top, you got to be smoking for those plays. You can't wait for them to bring this fight to you. I think it's gonna go bad for them. They do have a Jakiro Lina though, so not exactly
I mean, JVA
the worst high
keeps,
ground defense.
JVA just keeps getting blown up at the start of every fight, though. He played that laning phase very admirably, right? But like his positioning in these team fights has not been necessarily optimal. Oftentimes he's playing ahead of his Centaur, which is causing issues for his ability to make things happen in fights.
I think he's just looking to get the vision, and I don't think they're necessarily looking for these fights when the fights happen, which is what's been the issue. He's trying to get vision, so he's been playing aggressive to find the good vision so that they can take the fight. But I don't know if they just got caught out too many times. Got punished.
Yules tries TPing out. Sabo's not going to look for it. Tower goes down, but they scan out Daddy Odin. And Viper is the exact wrong person you want to see if you're a Dragon Knight. Run as fast as you can. In comes the Viper Strike and the Pango. Lich with the fear, and no Stampede will save you. Down goes the Dragon Knight. Down goes the Jakiro. They keep pushing the high ground. They still have Aegis for another 3.5 minutes. And it's go time. On the JB8 they go. He's forced out of the fight. Black Up looking for a Sonic Wave in as down goes the Centaur. Sonic Wave finds Wildman, but there's nothing left in the tank for Rats and Bunnies. They are all down. They have no buybacks, and their base is going to be ravaged by Texts Go Green.
All right, resisting the urge to make a bad dad joke.
Do it.
They don't have Tide on their team. They don't have Tide Hunter on their team. How are they going to ravage?
Dad jokes are always encouraged on this stream, Oblivion.
Yeah, but I try to be better. I really do.
I mean, like, compared to the jokes I typically make, that's like on par with my average. Like, that is the exact type of joke I've made on the stream several times over.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, now I feel even worse about it. Does the Viper have the shard yet? Yeah, he does. All right, yeah. These towers are gonna go down really
Blink
quick.
Stomp on RCW. They've already taken on the tower. The LSA lands, but RCW just he's got a pipe somewhere on the rest of his team. That's on Sabo. The Midas doing dividends. Getting the pipe on the support. Wait, Sabo got his plate at the same time as the Centaur. What? Hello? Tokyo just rolling in, having some fun. Sabo gets the Ignite, Fire Blast as well. Tokyo with the kill. RCW diving the T4s now. He's tanking up all the T4s. JB8 so low. He gets the champion to get out of dodge, and RCW goes into the Aegis. The rest of his team is nowhere near, but he has a Slark. He is going to be slippery. They don't even ice path for him. They want none of that smoke.
I think you just have to. And Daddy Odin is giving up on high ground defense, which I think is the correct call.
Yeah,
you got to try and pull them away.
It's like the liquid voice line,
I don't
right?
think Tex Go Green is going to take the bait.
Oh, man.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
This is, this is really, really rough for Rats and Bunnies. We're gonna play Guess the Game in one last time. Probably for the night.
I mean, I don't know. The fact that they're backing off now is... I'm questioning that. But, I don't know. I'd go 90, 95. Somewhere around there.
95 exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I spent an entire season casting in Australian and Southeast Asian League. And my co-caster made a bet with me for Guess the Gaben. Because he was like really confident that he'd be able to get it right on one time, right? We made the bet that if he didn't manage to get Guess the Gaben exactly correct once throughout the season, we had to do a stream where he wears a maid dress. He did not get it right at all. It's okay though. I'm wearing the maid dress with him. That stream's coming.
Okay, all right.
It was supposed to be for grand finals for for the first season of the league, which we casted. And then it didn't quite happen because I had a bunch of stuff happen and I wasn't able to cast the first 5 weeks of season 2. But got a cast for that league coming Saturday morning U.S. Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If anyone's interested in watching that, some high MMR Southeast Asian Dota.
So I think R&B had the right idea there. They've just got to be looking for these plays when they're playing split like this. And I don't know, I don't know if they don't have smokes or
Scanning.
what's the deal. But I really still don't think that you can just let them come at you like this.
Okay, so guess the game, and you gave it at what, 95% at the time. It was 95. It's now 94. I mean, like, it's entirely possible for Tex Go Green to throw. But, and like, there's also like the throw by doing nothing that is also common in Archon Crusader Ancient. But I mean, I don't even think you can throw by doing nothing here for Tex Go Green,
I don't
right?
think you can either.
Like the DK
I'm
just
looking at
doesn't
their
have
team
space to farm
comps,
and get
yeah.
online. The Ogre is the The Ogre is higher net worth than all the cores on the enemy team except for the DK, and he's only 2,000 gold behind the DK.
The throw is if people get picked off, which is why you've got to look for that on R&B. But I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but yeah, I mean, that's basically it. But honestly, Texas Green has played this very masterfully on both games. Blown me away, blown out my
RCW,
expectations.
Starting up
It's
high
just,
ground, has the Bloodthorn,
Yeah.
just goes, gets the silence on Asmar, and in comes the Chain Frost. He barely survives. Those Chain Frost bounces were kind of things of beauty for Wizard. And just barely doesn't
it's
kill the
100%
Centaur.
skill, by the way. So good job, Wizard. 100% skill.
Yeah, 100% skill. I mean, okay. As Ogre would say, that was skill, all right. Pure skill.
What is DK playing for? Oh, it's Daedalus. Yeah, that's a good one. They
Yeah.
do need more damage, especially against this Viper if they're gonna ever stand a chance against him.
Yeah. RCW getting into his Scotty, 21 minutes. I think they're just going to play for the next Aegis. 18 seconds on the earliest possible Roche spawn. Wizard knows this.
It's a safe
Hanging around
play.
the pit. Right, like wait for Aegis,
Look at the
push
4
the top
bounty
tower,
runes.
and then...
Oh, baby, that's money.
And you get, for every bounty rune you get some stuff for Frostivus, so...
Oh, well. Wait, does it count for ticketed games, though?
I don't know. This is the thing, like, probably
My
not.
guess is probably
but, like,
not, yeah.
Because, like, then
There
you
is a
beat the
fight
game
going on,
system,
just-
but also Stampede used defensively once again, as was the Sonic
They
Wave,
also
which
got the
didn't hit
Rolling
anyone.
Thunder out, though.
Yeah, but, like...
And... Oh, boy. This
JB8
Slark is
trying to
big.
clear creeps, right? Trying to get this Aghanim shard. By the way, spell damage Lino with no shard at 34 minutes. That hurts.
Dire's
Can't
top
call
Has the shard in the
JB8 like
stash,
that.
hasn't been able to buy it. Or
He's
hasn't...
trying his best over here. It's been a
Figure it out,
rough
yep.
game.
I mean, it really is. Like, I mean, and again, like, he played so well in that laning phase, right? That Centaur had no right to be in that lane as much as he was. But, I mean,
Not because
Texco
of the
Green,
player. Not because of the player.
Not because of the players,
Because
just
of the
because of the
hero.
picks. Just because of the heroes. But, like, Texco Green, like, game 1 was the RCW Wizard show. This time around, I mean, Wildman really stepped up on this Viper pick, made a lot of early rotations that kind of set the tempo for their game, and had R&B, who needed to play the tempo setters, on the back foot pretty early. And on top of that, Tokyo just kind of one lane, and thus made this Pango look very good, had very good defusal timing, now has all the stuff. I think that might be a heart coming out on his courier. No, overwhelming blink on his courier,
Oof.
so yeah.
That's going to be a Centaur dead, I think.
Yep. Roshan spawning in 1 minute.
Does have buyback, though.
We'll be topside. Oh, and again, they're going to play for this Aegis. We
Wizard
saw
is
Wizard just took
poor
the pit.
Wizard.
RCW
He's on,
pushing
he's
up
on
high
camp
ground
the
with just
Roche
Sabo.
duty.
Daddy Odin barely surviving through that. Saibo gets his pipe
Wow.
off, running away again, but Tokyo overwhelming blinks in, and now as the follow-up damage, Swashbuckle on a black up, is standing out on Pops' BKB, and is trying to get on top of
this might be
RCW right now,
trouble.
has the pounds out of the way, but Wildman Beats has made his way into the fight, gets the Viper Strike out onto the DK.
Okay.
And the buyback
okay.
comes through from the Centaur War Runner. A couple
That
of
was
ults
actually almost
used, but
trouble.
no one dies.
That was almost trouble for the Slark there. Oh, we went
I mean, this is the
Shadow
second game
Blade.
in a, this is the second game in a
look,
row
look, look,
RCW
man.
has not
He's
gone
got-
BKB, by the way.
Wait, what now?
This is the second game in a row RCW has not gone BKB.
I don't need it. Honestly,
Setting
if
on
you're
the
this
Shadow
far ahead, you
Blade,
kind of
and
don't need
he
it.
gets got on regardless. Viper Strike onto the DK. LSA onto the Slark. Down goes the Dragon Knight. He does not have buyback, and the Chain Frost is ravaging through the base. The Quap goes
Yep.
down. The Centaur goes down. The Pango keeps on diving. The Lina will fall. Dragoness right into the fountain. The only member of his team alive. And I am surprised GG has not been called yet. Only the Lina has buyback available, and the Bangas are coming through in a second from Texco Green.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, well, I think it's. I think both teams here. I mean, they obviously played hard to get here, and I think they should both be proud of what they've accomplished this season. But Texco Green just came out of the gate swinging both games. They played for their early draft timing really well, and just managed to get the better of them. So really well played.
And with that, Texco Green are your AD2L Season 42 Warrior Grand Champions. Winning
Congrats,
Series
guys.
2-0 over
Congrats,
Rats and
guys.
Bunnies.
Seriously, you guys
Well
did great.
deserved. Y'all played absolutely incredibly. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in to watch this. I know I haven't casted a whole lot of AD2L this season, but Warrior didn't have a finals caster, and y'all deserved to have your grand finals casted. So that being said, my name's been Finnick, that's been Oblivion KC, and we will see you around. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Dire's
Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back for a surprise interview with the victorious safe lane of Texts Go Green, RCW, and Wizard. How are y'all doing after that 2-0 victory?
Listen, I'm feeling real jazzed. I went on a date last night. I bought hot chocolate and apple cider, and I told her I need to win this league tomorrow so that I can pay for this. And so I came here and I fucking delivered.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Feels good to win.
All right, so I'm going to open up with questions about game number 1. From one Leshrac player to another.
Yep.
Leshrac position 1 is not particularly popular right now. Can you kind of go through your thought process of picking it that game and like why you thought it was as good as it was, and it turned out to be very good for you guys?
Yeah, so it's a specialty of mine. It's something I play a lot. I've always played a lot of it, kind of regardless of, you know, whether it was a common safe lane hero or not. And we played it once earlier in the season, and it did really well for us. And then we scrimmed on Tuesday, and we played it both times. We played it with the Wisp. And so coming into finals here, we had this whole plan where if they gave us second pick, we were going to set up for it and then just like pick at 16-17 as like a really strong proactive thing to play with. And then it just played really well that game. I think the lane went really well. We had like one or two really close plays that ended up panning out. And then I think we were fighting really well. And I also think they gave us puck in the first round, which we don't normally do. But that was a hero that we were really comfortable on. And I think works really well with the Leshrac. So.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a free lane. Like, I don't know, it's hard. I don't know. We haven't seen heroes at least yet that can crush it in the lane. Like, IO gives so much regen. And I've actually been learning IO, like, through scrims. Like, I don't want to play that hero in pubs, but go pick it in a bunch of scrims. So that's how I learned the hero, basically.
I think the reload plays were something to shout out there, too. I'll go ahead and chime in and shout out Wizard for those.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been getting better. It's a fun hero to play. It's just like kind of hard to play, but when you have an organized team and you can play it in scrims, it's really fun to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Second everything he said, except from the pair side of it. It's always fun to play a Wisp pairing. You just like run around and like I'm a dog on a leash, you know, I'm barking. I'm like, let me in that bitch. And he's got me on the tether.
Well, I guess I'll ask. So how did you guys get here? Like, what was your journey? Because I know everybody kind of had a different season, and it seems like you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you guys have a fairly easy breeze at least until you got to R&B the first time?
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead, Watson?
Yeah, I mean, I think we only we might have lost like one game, but for the most part, R&B was the only team we lost to. I think we lost like one other game, one other time, but we were sort of maybe not playing at our best. Like, we were like experimenting a little, I think, when we lost the other game. So we kind of have been prepping for them and knew they were going to be the big team to take down. And I think, like, I don't know, this is sort of off topic, but I think like draft wise, I felt like we were better prepped, like just going into both of the drafts. Like I felt both drafts were like, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. We ended with like all the reserve time and yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bit of draft wins.
Nice.
I would agree. I think our regular season, we were pretty confident in. We were kind of set on being a playoff team. And we knew from the first matchup, it was like us and J-Bay all the way. They were like the team that we really struggled against, both in the early season and then in our first playoff meeting. So yeah, we hit the garage, hit the laboratory, ate some bagels for fuel, and then came out with what we wanted. And I think like the Leshrac seemed really good, but just to kind of go back to that drafting, I think our second draft was like almost a little bit better. Like I think that was more so like a standard draft for us, but just like executed really well. So shout out Wizard for putting the drafts together.
And kind of talking about that second game, right? You picked this Slarklich and a Centaur matchup, and then like you see that they're last picking for J-Bay. He picks this Lena, and it starts being a difficult lane for you guys. So how was your mental kind of going into that when J-Bay was kind of making it difficult for you guys early? And with the plays that helped turn it around with those teleport spot and those roam spot, like what was the communication like in order to get that and regain your advantage in that bottom lane?
Yeah, I think.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
you're good. Okay, yeah, I'll talk first. I think J-Bay is just like a monster laner. Having played against him several times now, like on an individual level, I think he outskills me at least in the lane. So that it always makes it hard. Like I don't know, I just want to shout out how good he is. So that was rough. Like it's always rough, but like we kind of got used to it after some time. Like I don't know, it's bad to say like we got used to getting beat, but like we know we can make the comeback. Like, and I think one of the biggest lessons throughout the season is like just not force things too much, like, and be confident in our ability to make the comeback. Because if we don't tilt out from like one or two mistakes, then it works out. And the lane actually went really well this series, better than it has in the past, because we had a couple like really close like situations
Yeah.
where we ended up killing them both, and like with like Jack has like 10% HP.
I have
Yeah, I think he
HP
lived
for
on
that
about
double kill.
20. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think he lived on like 20 HP or something like
that's
that.
Yeah, it was really close. That was certainly like a big turnaround. That was like we have the lead moment. Like, because I'm just gonna go Barracuda up and we can just get right back in that lane. Wizard died, come back with like full mana pool, full HP pool, and we were able to like bully the Centaur out. I had stacks and it was good to go. So
Like
Nice.
also like JV's better than me like fighting, like the man fighting, and he knows when to trade, but like he was letting me have the camps. Like I was stack pulling and shit, and he didn't stop me at all. So I think that also changed the dynamic a little.
I gotcha. Well, I guess besides J-Bay and besides the, I guess what really happened in your lane with the game overall, right? Or really both games overall, what do you think was the deciding factor between your team and R&B?
I think it's something that we've been working on all season and kind of struggling with a little bit, but it was like we had really excellent comms this game. I think everybody was like on the same page and everybody was like talking a lot, which is something that we definitely were a little bit of a quieter team when we first started, because this is the first time for a handful of us meeting, quite a lot of us meeting. Like, my first game this season was my first game with Watson. And so I think we finally kind of clicked and was like, all right, like this is it. We got to like play our best Dota. Let's talk. Let's be like good Dota players, communicate about what we're doing, be better in fights. I think our fight communication in particular was absolutely excellent. Supports were doing a great job with smokes and being ready to move with the strong cores. So I think communication was the big thing this game for us.
Yeah, that was definitely a big one. I also think I said it before, but I'll just say it again. The draft, like I think we had a really good draft prep. Both drafts, we felt really confident with what we picked. We kind of picked everything we got everything we wanted. Like we had these plans in our head, and it just went exactly how we planned it. So
Yeah, it really does seem like you guys had a mission and really executed on it on both games, and you really disrupted what R&B wanted to do. So shout out to you guys for that.
All right, and
Thank you.
final question, which is how I've traditionally ended interviews. However, you have two people, so I'm going to hear two answers for this. I would like to hear who your MVP is for the series. Can be anyone on your team, including yourself, and why.
That's a great question. I think I have to give it to London. London for game 2, and I think it was Watson game 1. So it's hard to pick one, but I would split the games. Like I think the IO was like so incredible the first game. It kept us all on the map and was like how we killed the AM was the relocate plays. And they were executed so well in game 1, and then game 2 was, I think, the Pango show pretty through and through. So,
Oh, you're not going to give it to the Viper.
I will not. I will say Wildman really was like clutch for us throughout the entire season and won us like so many games by himself. So, not now, but
Okay.
a lot of the games would give it to him.
He did nothing that last game. Nothing.
No, he won. He won his lane and just
Yeah.
wasn't a grind for the rest of the game.
All right, and what about you, Wizard?
that's a really hard question. I think I'm gonna just say Jack. Really high KDA. The Lash was like unkillable. The Slark, like our drafts were centered around him and his heroes, and for that to work, he has to be playing really well, and I think both times he did.
All right, thank you both so much for your time, and for real this time. Signing off, my name is Finnick, that's been Oblivion KC, and we will see you next season for more AD2L. Good night, everybody.
Good night.